The National Safety Council and FLI Learning Systems present Safe Winter Driving Considerations. Most videos about winter driving are staged on frozen lakes and focus specifically on how to recover from a skid. This video takes a more preventive, proactive approach toward winter driving, focusing on precautions you can take to avoid dangerous situations such as a skid. It will present safe driving concepts and techniques you can adopt to help make your winter driving less hazardous. It will also cover precautions you can take to prepare and inspect your vehicle so it will be winter ready. Vehicle preparation. The first step in ensuring safe winter driving is getting your vehicle prepared before winter arrives. Late fall is a good time to have your vehicle checked by a mechanic. As part of your regular maintenance, check your antifreeze, battery, exhaust, brakes, and heating system. Check that your windshield washer fluid container is full and your windshield wipers are functioning properly. Look carefully for small cracks and nicks in the windshield. With the changing temperatures of winter, these small imperfections can grow and cause a visibility hazard. An important consideration is the type and condition of your tires. If you will be using snow tires, be sure to get them on early before winter weather becomes a problem. If you are planning to combine regular radial with non-radial snow tires or even with radial snow tires, consult your vehicle's owner's manual for any information regarding such combinations. If you are not switching to snow tires, check to be sure that your all-weather tires have sufficient tread depth and are properly inflated. Assemble winter preparedness equipment for your vehicle, including items for snow and ice removal and items that will assist you in the event of a breakdown. Be certain to store the equipment in your trunk or other area so it will not interfere with your ability to operate your vehicle safely. For example, don't place your ice scraper on the dash where it can fall off or on the floor where it can slide under your feet. Let's take a look at some of the items that you might want in your vehicle for winter driving. A cell phone. Tire chains. Learn how to attach these before you need them. Small bag of abrasive material such as sand, salt, or kitty litter. Small snow shovel. Snow brush. Ice scraper. Traction mats. Flashlight with fresh batteries. Cloth or roll of paper towels. Jumper cables. Consult your owner's manual to learn the safe and proper procedures for using them. Blankets. Warning devices such as flares or triangles. Vehicle inspection and snow removal. Your choice of clothing is a factor to consider when driving in cold temperatures. While outside, you may need a heavy coat, thick gloves, and insulated footwear. However, behind the wheel, they may create problems by restricting your mobility and reducing your feel of the pedals and steering wheel. Bulky hats and scarves may reduce your peripheral vision. If you warm up your vehicle before starting out, you can take off your heavy outerwear and store it on the back seat. However, avoid hanging your overcoat where it might reduce your visibility. Check your owner's manual for guidelines about warming up your vehicle in cold weather. Never let your vehicle run in a space such as a garage with or without the door closed. As exhaust fumes build, they can leak into adjoining spaces, such as bedrooms and living rooms. The buildup of carbon monoxide can be deadly. In addition to performing your routine pre-trip inspection, you may also have to clear snow and ice from your vehicle. The most critical area is the front of your vehicle, since a buildup of snow and ice can significantly impair your view of the road. Be sure to clear the entire front windshield. In the winter, the sun is at a lower level in the sky, creating a blinding glare off any snow or moisture remaining on the windshield, especially during early morning and late afternoon. Remove any ice buildup from the windshield wiper blades. Also check to be sure the blades are in good shape and that they contact the windshield along their entire length. Check that the windshield washer nozzles are clear. Remove as much snow as possible from the hood, since any loose snow would likely blow directly onto the windshield once you start driving. Also clear any snow and ice from the headlights and turn signal lights. This driver neglected to clear the headlights, and they are much less effective at making his vehicle visible to other drivers. Is this important? Look at the difference in visibility between these two vehicles, one with headlights on and the other with headlights off. Take the time to clear your headlights and turn them on when driving during bad weather conditions. On the sides of your vehicle, clear the mirrors and the windows. However, scraping the side mirrors will probably change their adjustment. Once in your vehicle, be sure to recheck the alignment of your mirrors. In the rear, clear the back window and tail lights. If your vehicle has a rear wiper, be sure that it is free of snow and ice and in contact with the glass. Don't neglect the roof. When stopping, accumulated snow can slide forward onto the windshield and hood, obstructing your view. When you finish the ice and snow removal, pop the hood and check the level of the windshield wiper reservoir, replenishing it if necessary. Never open the hood and check the fluid levels while the car is running. The loose clothing commonly worn in the winter can easily get caught in the moving belts and fan of a running engine. Two other points to remember. In the winter, it's smart to keep your gas tank full, and regardless of the weather, always fasten your safety belt before moving your vehicle. On the road. Winter brings some of the most challenging road conditions of the year. When weather conditions are less than ideal, first ask yourself if your trip is really necessary, even if it's just a short drive across town. Pay attention to the weather forecast for your area. If accumulating snow, icy conditions, and/or strong winds are forecasted, it might be wise to cancel or postpone your trip. Sometimes, delaying your trip for even a couple of hours will give snowplows a chance to clear the roads and might allow time for the temperature to rise enough to make a big difference in road conditions. If you decide that conditions are satisfactory for driving, take a moment to remind yourself of the winter driving challenges you may face. There is a high probability that the roads will be slippery, substantially increasing your stopping distance. Even if you operate a four-wheel drive vehicle with new tires, snow can accumulate in the grooves, reducing your grip on the road surface. Think about your particular vehicle. Which wheels are the drive wheels? Is your vehicle rear-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, all-wheel, or four-wheel drive? Each has slightly different driving characteristics. Read your owner's manual to find out the handling characteristics of your particular drive wheels. If your vehicle is equipped with optional four-wheel drive, do not rely on this feature to get you out of trouble. Engage the four-wheel drive before you need it to help keep you out of trouble. However, do not assume you are immune to the hazards of winter driving because you have four-wheel drive. And always keep in mind that four-wheel drive does not help you stop more quickly than any other vehicle. Many vehicles have anti-lock braking systems, or ABS. This braking system can help you maintain control of your vehicle during severe braking on icy or snow-covered roads. Notice that without ABS, the wheels lock and the driver cannot steer around the barrier. With ABS, the wheels continue to turn while braking, and the driver can control the car. ABS can even help you maintain control when you are braking on pavement with varying surface conditions. Here, ice on the right side and dry pavement on the left. However, even with ABS, do not get overconfident about your ability to bring your vehicle to an abrupt stop. In fact, ABS brakes do not always reduce your stopping distance. Instead, drive defensively, adjusting your driving to avoid having to brake suddenly at all. In adverse weather conditions, scanning the driving environment for hazards becomes especially important. Use your scanning technique to spot potential problems well in advance so you can slow gradually and avoid having to brake quickly. When you spot a problem, such as this vehicle pulling in front of you, take your foot off the accelerator and put it over the brake, not braking, but allowing your vehicle to slow gradually. This technique is called covering the brake. If you must actually use your brakes, you will be ready to brake well before the hazard. As mentioned earlier, snow and ice-covered roads can substantially increase your stopping distance. Even when temperatures rise enough to melt the snow, the sand and salt that remain can be hazardous. To compensate for the increase in stopping distances during winter road conditions, reduce your speed and increase your following distance. If you are faced with a hazardous situation, such as the vehicle ahead stopping or slowing suddenly, take your foot off the accelerator and cover the brake to begin slowing. Next, check your rearview mirror for vehicles behind. If a vehicle is following closely, allow extra time and space to give that driver extra time and space to avoid hitting you. Avoid using cruise control on snow-covered or icy roadways. Pedestrians can also present additional concerns in winter driving conditions. They may not be able to see or hear you coming because of the severe weather and the additional clothing they are wearing. Whenever you see a pedestrian approaching the road, cover your brake and prepare to stop. Do not assume the pedestrian sees you coming. Proceed only when you are sure it is safe. Sidewalks are often the last area cleared after a snowfall. Pedestrians may be forced to walk in the roadway for short distances. Be aware of this. Cover your brake and proceed slowly until well past the pedestrian. After a heavy snowfall, plowed snow often obstructs your view, especially at intersections and driveways. It also makes it difficult for other drivers to see you. Here, the driver could not check for approaching traffic without pulling part way into the roadway. Another location where plowed snow may be a problem is in large parking lots. Often snow is piled in areas such as at the end of this aisle that create visibility hazards. Don't take chances. Stop at the end of the aisle. Then lean forward in your seat and inch forward until you can see around the pile to check for oncoming traffic. Don't proceed until you are sure it is safe. When you are in position to check cross traffic before entering a roadway, anticipate that you may lose traction as you begin to accelerate. Wait for a larger than usual break in traffic so that spinning wheels will not put you in danger of being struck by an approaching vehicle. Even with good visibility and in the best of conditions, intersections are a high-risk area for collisions. In the winter, it is especially important to scan ahead for vehicles approaching an intersection from the cross street. Even if you have the right of way, you can't always assume that other drivers will be able to stop. A driver might slide right through the intersection. Likewise, if another driver is turning at the intersection, he or she may not be able to make the turn successfully and could slide into you. In light traffic conditions, try to time your approach so you do not reach the intersection at the exact same time as another vehicle. Slow before the intersection by taking your foot off the accelerator and covering the brake. If you plan to turn at an intersection, signal well in advance of the 100 feet required by law so you can give other drivers plenty of warning. Reduce your speed well in advance and make the turn slowly, taking care to prevent a slide. Treat curves in much the same way. Scan well ahead and reduce your speed below the posted limit. Be on the lookout for other vehicles that may have slid off the road part way through the turn. If you must brake, do so before the curve. Accelerate only when you are through the turn and are on a straight part of the road. Hills can be especially hazardous in wintertime. When the road is covered with snow, inclines can become difficult to scale because of the reduced traction. Before starting up a hill, scan ahead to spot any disabled vehicles. If you see a vehicle blocking the road or a driver having trouble negotiating the hill, stay at the bottom with your hazard lights on until it is clear. As you begin your ascent, establish a safe speed and maintain it throughout. Avoid abrupt accelerations or braking. As you have probably experienced at one time or another, it can be very difficult to get underway again once you stop partway up a hill. Before descending, slow at the top of the hill and scan the area ahead. As you start down, maintain a slow, constant speed and avoid braking by shifting into a lower gear. If the hill is blocked, wait at the top until it is safe to begin your descent. If you must pass a stopped vehicle, be sure you can do so without interfering with others. As you travel in winter conditions, you've undoubtedly noticed that the road surface constantly changes. As you pass from sun into shade, or move across bridges, or through blowing snow, you may suddenly encounter slippery, icy conditions. The same conditions occur when the temperature hovers around the freezing point. Melting snow and water on the road can quickly refreeze when the temperature drops. This can result in an extremely hazardous condition called black ice. Be alert to times when these conditions may be present and take precautions. Scan ahead, reduce your speed by covering your brake, and try not to oversteer while operating in these hazardous conditions. With large snowfalls, roadway markings and signs can become obscured and the roadway itself narrowed. Often it becomes difficult to determine the location of the center line or the edges of the roadway. In these situations, scan well ahead for oncoming traffic and reduce your speed by covering your brake. Anytime you are unsure, reduce your speed. If the path ahead continues to be obscured, consider pulling off the roadway in a safe location to wait for conditions to improve before continuing. Large amounts of snow piled at the roadside can narrow the traffic lanes to the extent that vehicles may be forced to cross the center line. For example, in this situation, the parked cars ahead are well into the roadway because of the accumulated snow at the curb. You are forced to cross over the center line to get around them. Reduce your speed and scan ahead for oncoming vehicles. If you spot an oncoming vehicle, wait well back from the parked vehicles until the road ahead is clear. At some point in your winter driving, you may have to share the road with snow removal equipment. These vehicles are typically larger and much heavier than yours. As such, they have very different handling characteristics. The snowplow driver's visibility and his options to maneuver the truck can be limited. When you spot an approaching snowplow, cover your brake and watch for part of the plow crossing over the center line of the roadway. It's your responsibility to watch out for yourself and give these vehicles room to do their job. Traveling closely behind a snowplow can be extremely hazardous. If the vehicle is plowing dry, powdery snow, you may experience blizzard-like conditions with almost no visibility ahead. In all situations, maintain a safe following distance and be prepared for sudden stops or changes in speed. As you can see in this diagram, snowplows have large blind spots all around the vehicle. Because of this, snowplows can be a hazard to you, just as you can be a hazard to them. Sometimes you may feel you would like to drive faster than the plow. However, think twice about passing. Road conditions behind a plow are normally much better than in front of it. In addition, you may not be able to maintain a higher passing speed as driving conditions quickly deteriorate on the unplowed portion of the roadway. Because of blowing snow, the large size of the snowplow, and the snow cloud created by the plow itself, it can be difficult to see if you have enough clear road ahead to complete a pass safely. Even though the snowplow may be traveling much slower than you would like, a pass may be too risky. Be patient and stay a safe following distance behind. Night driving in the winter can also be hazardous. The lower temperatures can lead to roadway icing, changing formerly wet or slushy roads into sheets of ice. In addition, the reduced visibility makes scanning that much more difficult. Use your high beams whenever they will not interfere with another driver's ability to see the road. However, in heavy snowfall, high beams become less effective because they reflect off the snow. In these conditions, use your low beams to reduce the reflection and illuminate more of the road ahead. Reduce your speed at night so you will be able to stop in the distance that is illuminated by your headlights. Throughout this program, you have seen techniques that, when incorporated into your driving, can make winter driving less hazardous. These include early season preparation, pre-trip inspection and snow removal, increasing your following distance, dealing with pedestrians, approaching intersections, handling hills, sharing the road with snowplows, and night driving. To be a defensive driver in winter conditions, drive to prevent and avoid dangerous situations in the first place, so you won't have to rely on skid control techniques and good luck to avoid collisions.